Hi everyone. Today I thought we would have a go at making a funfo card. I'm going to have a go at making a TePe card with you today. I've got all my bits with me. I've got some florals cut, which I'm just going to push to one side. I've got my pieces of card. I am going to be using, or I have cut my florals out with the Sentimentally Yours Floral Finery Practically Perfect dies, and that's those, and I cut them out in a pattern paper. I'll show you those in a minute. And I'm also going to be using the Happy Birthday stamp, again from Sentimentally Yours, and this is the Papillion Paradise Flourish Sentiments, and they're really quite nice big sentiments. Paper pad I'm using is from Do Crafts Paper Mania, and it's the Capsule Collection by Jess Edwards, and there's some really pretty patterns in this one, so that's what I'm going to be using. So I've chosen my pattern pieces. I've chosen the stripes and the circles. So for this technique you are going to need a piece of cardstock. Could be any colour, it doesn't have to be white, and this measures 10 by 5 inches. You're going to want another piece of white cardstock that measures 5 by 5. You're going to need 3 pieces of your first layer. This can be mirror card, just plain card. This is a satin card in a slightly grey colour, and I've cut 3 of these at 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. You're then going to need some pattern paper, so you're just going to need to cut yourself 3 pieces, or I would do 4 pieces so that you've got an equal amount. You will have some left over, at 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. So I would cut 2 in this pattern and 2 in this pattern, but if you want them all the same, that's absolutely fine. I've already glued those down for you, and I've cut myself a few florals, as I've said, in another pattern. This is the pretty polka dots, and then a couple in the satin, and we'll put those together. And the other thing you're going to need is a tiny bit of Velcro for allowing the card to stay together once it's stood up. It's about 1/2 inch square, so we're just going to pop that to one side. So the first thing we're going to do is take in our 10 by 5 piece of white cardstock. I'm going to take in my scoreboard, and I'm going to score this down at 5 inches, and then I'm going to rotate this piece of card. I'm going to put the point up to where the 5 is. Actually, I'm going to put my tool, my score tool, in the groove. I'm going to put the point of my card in the groove of number 5. I'm going to line that up and going to score that down. So what you can see is we've got our centre score, and then we've got the score line coming from point to the score line. We're then going to rotate that, do exactly the same again, come down the groove, line that up, and I can see that is just there. So what you've actually got now is down, you're straight, and then down, and they're both meeting perfectly in the middle. So I'm going to pop that one to one side, and then our square piece, our 5 by 5 square piece, we're going to take our scoring tool again, go down the groove, and we're going to line that up perfectly, give that a score. So that's what we've done with that one, and that's all the scoring that we need to do for this. Okay, so I'm going to turn my card over, and I'm going to fold and burnish this side. I'm going to fold and burnish this one I'm going to fold in. So what we've ended up with now is this shape, and with the 5x5 square we're going to line that up and we're going to give that a burnish. So this is what we've ended up with, and what we're going to do now is we're going to take our square with your score line facing down. We're going to pop this point right up to this point, and we are actually going to glue that in place. But if we lay that down and turn that over and just draw a very faint pencil line along the bottom, we now know that when we put our glue on, we don't need to go below that line. And then we're going to take our point and I'm going to line this right up to the point. Make sure nicely within the scored lines and just give that a really nice press down. And now when we fold this in half this way, give this a really nice score down again. When we fold this in and bring this across, we've got this really, really unusual TePe card. So we're just going to pop this one to one side. If you take in your 5 3/4 square first layer, what we're going to do with those, we're going to line this up point to point on our paper trimmer, and we're going to cut those down through the middle. And we're going to do exactly the same with all our pattern pieces. So point to point. I've done that on all my pieces already. So we're just going to glue these together. And now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't think we're going to need this last one. This is the front of our card and this is the inside. And all we're going to do with these is glue these onto the front like so, and we could go in opposite directions. Put your glue all around the edges and glue this one down and get that one lined up. So there's all our pattern pieces stuck onto the actual TePe. I'm going to do now, so I actually quite like that, so I'm going to do exactly the same. What I need to do now with this one is draw a very faint pencil line in there, and I know if I go up that pencil line and then take off the satin all the way around, then I've got exactly the same for this side. So I'm just going to glue those down. So that's those two. Turn those over and give this a really nice press down from the back. And now when we bring this across and we attach this, we've got this really pretty TePe card effect. And then with the flowers, so what we're going to do is these two center panels are going to be the front of our card, and I'm just going to build these up with some pretty florals. The second one, I'm going to go just slightly under the first one. Just hold that down for a couple of seconds. If you want to use glue gel for this, you can. I prefer to use tacky glue. I'm going to go in with another big one, and then I'm just going to pop a few little single ones, and then we lift up our TePe. What happens is when you fold this across, this is that we've got at the moment. Now what we need to do is put our Velcro onto one of these, and the best way to do that is to work with red double-sided tape. I think you'll find this is the strongest tape on the market in the crafting world anyway, and we're just gonna cut that to size. Nice burnish down. We want that glue to really get into the back of those fibres. The pokey tool and just lift off the backing, and when we lift this up, we bring this across so that it's nice and flush. And I know if I pop my finger under, I want my first one to go about there. And now we really need to give this a nice burnish down. And now when we bring this across, get that really nicely lined up, turn it over and really press that down on the inside. So for the sentiment, I'm going to be using the Happy Birthday scrap card stock. And I'm going to ink this up with the VersaFine Onyx Black. And there we've got our really pretty Happy Birthday. And I am going to fussy cut this out. I want no straight edges. Like so. And I am going to glue this down. So place that roughly where I want it. It is overhanging this score line, which is absolutely fine. We're just going to glue that one down. And there we have our really pretty TePe card. So this card will lay flat for posting. You are going to need either a box envelope or just a regular envelope, and I would go with a 6 by 8 envelope would even. So that's what our card looks like at the moment. This is what it looks like folded up, and it's really difficult to show you, but if I hold it like so, maybe you'll get an idea of what that looks like. And then if you want to pop another piece of card over the back there, how pretty does that look? So fold it up, and there we go. Really, really easy, effective. Well, I hope you've learnt something. I hope you've enjoyed my little video. I hope you have a go at this. And until the next time, bye for now.